So you've got your, sorry, it's bread?
So it's sourdough bread,
Sourdough bread. Okay. And who did you
buttered.
eat it with? Oh, with butter. Okay.
My grandmother, she would bake this bread, and I lived overseas. I was a little kid, and I lived overseas, and she was sort of my surrogate mother. She raised me because
Wow.
I was taken from my mom and by my dad, and she raised me. And so this was like this comfort thing all the time. And it's the one thing, like if I'm at a restaurant, I can be like very careful with what I eat, and I can, whatever. But then if that's there, all bets are off.
Great. That is such a good description. And this is actually how you know that you have a craving versus emotional eating. It's like if that thing is around you, it's almost like something else takes over you and you're going to eat it no matter what. Okay. I'm so happy we're doing this with you.
So I'm like gluten-free for 3 months, and then I go someplace and they have this and I'm done. And my daughter loves it. So I have it in the freezer all the time. So I happen to have it.
Okay, awesome. All right, so what we're gonna do is and you know what tapping is, right? You know where all the points are?
Oh yeah, I've done it. Yeah.
Great. Okay, you've done the ball of light.
I've done some tapping with you a little bit, like via videos, and I've also done tapping with other people.
Okay.
Like YouTube and stuff.
Great. Okay, but you've not done the ball of light exercise.
No.
No. Cool. Okay, this will be fun then. So there's going to be kind of a lot going on, but I'm just going to walk you through it. And we're going to do part of it's going to be a visualization, and another part of it's going to be actually talking out loud. So a lot of my tapping, we actually use without words. Like one of the biggest problems that people always have is that I don't know what to say. And so I kind of take that out of the equation for a big part of this. And a lot of my techniques are just visualizations, and it just makes it a lot easier for people to do on their own. So what I want you to do is, let's start by taking, and everybody else, if you've got your food in front of you, follow along to my instructions to Shiloah. And then I'll kind of check in with you and we'll see how you're doing. If you want to ask questions, you can as well. So have a little smell of your bread or take a little bite and notice how strong your desire is on a scale from 0 to 10. And this is how we measure our results.
My mouth is watering.
Okay, I can see it on your face. You're so expressive when you think about it. Okay, great, perfect.
I mean, and I've had food. I've had breakfast. I'm not even hungry.
Yeah, okay, perfect. So this next part feels a little bit kind of cuckoo, but what we're gonna do is, as you look down at the bread, what I want you to do is actually scoop all of those really good feelings out of the bread and like bring them into your chest, into your heart. And sometimes I need to scoop a couple of times, but when you look at this bread, you're feeling all these really good feelings, which is why your face is so expressive and you're feeling so good. So imagine scooping all those really yummy feelings out of the bread and just bringing them into your heart and into your body. Tell me when you got that. Okay, and now start tapping through the points here, and you can close your eyes or open your eyes. You can do whatever you want here. This is about you. And what I want you to do is imagine that your grandma is there in front of you. And I can see this is already emotional, right? Taking the feelings out of the bread. Yeah. Did that feel good to bring them out of the bread into your body? It did, didn't it? Yeah. And this is what we do, guys. I'm just going to stop for a minute. So just keep tapping on that here, Shiloah. This is what we do, you guys. We actually put meaning and emotions into the food. And so even just the part where we had Shiloah scoop the feelings out of the food and bring them into her body, that's where they belong. They belong in her body. They don't belong in the food. And so this is why we can get this technique to work super, super fast. So you'll see how much faster this will work with Shiloah and with yourself, just by doing a couple of these visualizations that are really, really powerful. This is like reorganizing the filing cabinet in your brain. Your brain put sourdough bread in, your brain put grandma's love in the sourdough bread filing cabinet. And what we just did is we said, no, it doesn't belong there. It goes in the it goes in the me cabinet, and it actually goes in the grandma cabinet, because those feelings came from grandma. So when you do this, you can start to see how powerful this work is right from the beginning, when we just identify who is the person that you used to eat this food with, right? And then where were you when you had this experience? Okay, so Shiloh, what I want you to do is keep tapping through the points, and I want you to imagine your grandma is there in front of you, or out somewhere in your area. Imagine that she's there, and I want you to send this taste, and I imagine it as a big iridescent, beautiful ball of light. So this taste, this feeling, this yummy, yummy bread, sourdough bread feeling, from your heart to your grandma's heart. Good. Yeah. And that brings up some emotion, right? Because it's, yeah. Because we're connecting with her. And this is what we're really looking for when we're eating that bread, or when we're eating those foods that we go crazy over, is we're looking for that love. It's reminding us of this person. So good. So keep tapping through the points here, Shiloh. And what we're going to do is we're going to spend about 3 or 4 minutes just passing this ball of light back and forth between your heart and her heart, and just see how amazing she feels, and see how much love is on her face when she receives this feeling from you. And it reminds her of those really amazing times that you guys used to have together, and baking that bread, and when you were a little girl, and taking care of you. And as you keep tapping through the points, just keep feeling this feeling, passing this ball of light back and forth, and remembering what the bread tastes like in your mind. So keep reminding yourself, taste that bread feeling, and feel all those really, really good feelings. And just send this ball of light back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Good. Keep tasting the bread in your mind, feeling all these really good feelings. Just keep passing the ball of light back and forth, back and forth. Keep remembering what that bread tastes like, and even remember the buttery taste, because there's the butter component too. Keep tasting that buttery bread feeling, and passing that buttery bread feeling back and forth between your heart and her heart and your heart and her heart and your heart. Yeah, just keep passing this ball of light. Remember what the bread tastes like with that butter. Feel all those really good, yummy feelings. There you go. You're doing great. Okay, so take a nice deep breath. And just in your mind's eye, go over and give your grandma a hug and a kiss, and just tell her how much you love her and how much you miss her. And also how much you appreciate her. Because this is what you're really looking for. You're looking for that connection. You're looking for that love. How, as a little child, we of course feel so safe and so loved and so protected when we're with somebody who really loves us. And as adults, life gets hard, and then we don't have that same feeling of who's going to take care of me, who's going to protect me, who's there. And so people who eat emotionally, who have these problems with food, are typically, it's because they've connected these feelings of safety and comfort and love into food. And that's really that's one of the only issues. And as soon as you can recognize that and decouple it and go, you know what, that emotion doesn't belong in that food, it belongs in me, and with this memory of that person I shared it with. And then you can always go back to that memory. You can think about your grandma, and you can just have a moment where you talk to her and just say, Grandma, I need your love, and I need to feel that safety and that protected feeling right now, and I just need to feel unconditional love from you. And you can bring it back up, right?
Yeah, it was actually really amazing, because when I did the scooping up was the first time I actually felt that connection of the nurturing that came from my grandma to the bread. It's weird. It just
Wow.
totally felt it coming in. It was amazing.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, I kind of logically knew this, but when I did that exercise, it really like felt real. You know, I saw the specific of it. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, people who use food as the resource, we're also very sensitive people. We can intuit and we can feel a lot of things. And so just by imagining moving energy around certain things can change our entire experience. And often the world is really hard because there's a lot of feelings and emotions around that we don't know how to explain, and we're constantly overwhelmed and overloaded, but nobody talks about this stuff. So we'll typically use food as a way to kind of lower our anxiety and our stress levels because we don't know how to make sense of what's going on. And so that's another kind of side component too, but I can kind of see that happening a bit with you as well, which is like, whoa, you know, this is a really powerful experience. So that means you're going to be your senses are going to be heightened to a lot of other things in your life too. And you need to watch out for that. Protect yourself from, you know, bad energies or from things that can harm you. Okay, so let's just check in, Shiloh, with your bread craving and have a little taste of it, and just tell me what your desire for it is on a scale from 0 to 10, and everybody else do the same. Amanda says, I'm crying my eyes out with my memory of my dad. Aww. 0 to 10. So I hope you guys can see her face. She's still got a little smile on her face. So you can see
like an 8, I guess.
An 8. Okay. That's still really high. Okay. Tell me what it is specifically that you still like about the bread.
Okay. So it's very comforting, like the sourness of it. You know, you can taste the sourness of it, the texture with the butter in there. Like it just has it brings up really good feelings. Like, you know, I feel like satisfied and comforted.
Okay, I'm gonna have you do another round of the ball of light now. So is this different than the first time that you ate it? What were the feelings like the first time that you ate it?
Well, the first time I didn't even eat it. I just smelled it and my mouth was watering.
Okay. Okay.
So, and again, I wasn't hungry, and I don't need to be hungry to eat this. So, like the second time I wasn't, I mean, I had to actually chew on it to get that same experience. So,
okay. All right. So now that you've had it in your mouth, I want you to do the same thing. I want you to scoop those feelings out of the bread, bring them into your heart. And while you're tapping through the points, I want you to see your grandma there, tapping through the points, and send this taste and all these good feelings from your heart to her heart, from her heart back to your heart. Taste the food in your mind, feeling all these really good feelings. Taste all the parts of it, the bread, the sour, the yummy. Yeah, there you go. The way that combination, that comfort, and just send this taste and all these good feelings from your heart to grandma's heart, and for grandma's heart back to your heart. Keep tasting that bread in your mind, that yummy, sour, buttery, bready taste. And just keep passing that taste and all those good feelings from your heart to grandma's heart, and grandma's heart back to your heart. Remember what that bread tastes like in your mind. Feel all these good feelings. Remember that combination of the sour and the bread and the butter and all that yumminess. And just keep sending all that yumminess from your heart to her heart, and from her heart back to your heart. Keep tasting that bread in your mind. Tasting all of that, maybe even still in your mouth, and just keep sending that taste and all those good feelings back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. There you go, back and forth. Keep tasting that bread in your mind, feeling all those good feelings. Just sending that taste back and forth. There we go. Okay, so take another nice deep breath here. Stop tapping for a minute. Okay, so I actually did something wrong here. I thought she ate a piece of the bread and she didn't. So the first round of ball of light, I mean, it had a purpose because that was a really powerful experience to take the feelings out of the food and bring it into her body. But I decided to do a second ball of light because usually the ball of light will drop it'll take somebody from a 10 to a 5 or a 4 very quickly. Some people go from a 10 to a 0 with this. So the fact that she was an 8 didn't really make sense to me. So that's why I had her do another round. So Shiloh, let's just check the bread taste again. And with whatever's left, we're actually going to do another part of it, which is we're going to work on it with aspects. So tell me, on a scale from 0 to 10, what's your desire to have more of it? Or how strong is your craving for it? He was at about an 8 before.
I don't know, 5 or 6.
A 5 or a 6. Okay. So you can see even her facial expression it was more calm this time. And whereas the last time she ate it, she started like, she almost even looked like a little girl. You know, she was so happy and her eyes were so bright when she was eating it. So, you know, when you're working with a client face to face, these are some of the signs that you can see you can kind of tell when they are dropping based on their reaction in the face. And also if you're working with somebody on the phone, them taking sighs is usually a sign that they're releasing. And that you're kind of making some progress. You can also hear the excitement in their voice. So a lot of times I'll hear like, oh, it's an 8, and it'll just be a really excited tone, or then they'll go, it's a 5. You know, and that's a very different tone.